totally convinced. If you marry Flap Horton tomorrow, it will be a mistake of such gigantic proportions it will ruin your life and make wretched your destiny. Why are you doing this to me? You are not special enough to overcome a bad marriage. Emma, use your brains. Flap is limited, he hasn't got any imagination. Even at this age, all he wants is a secure teaching job.
Mother, I'm marrying Flap Horton tomorrow. I thank God for Flap for getting me out of here. And I think if this is your attitude, you shouldn't bother showing up at my wedding.
What is your name? Aurora?
Yes.
You want a shock?
No, not especially. What?
Well, we're gonna have this dinner at NASA dinner at the White House, and you know, some cosmonauts and all of us, and I didn't know who I could take because all the people that I flew with, well, their wives are giving me bitch bites all up and down my back if I showed up with one of my regular girls. I didn't know anybody old enough, so I thought, well, I'll ask my next door neighbor. Well then, anyway, they canceled the dinner, but I was really thinking about asking you out seriously, and I had a shocker.
Yes. Imagine you having a date with someone where it wasn't necessarily a felony.
Where have you been all night, Flap?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ems. I fell asleep on that big sofa at the library again. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I'm on to you. Wouldn't try to look so innocent unless you were guilty.
Hi, how'd it go? The astronaut is impossible. An arrogant, self-centered, and yes, somewhat entertaining man who has realized his ambition and is at last and forever a spoiled child.
Talk about your match made in heaven.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
What's her name?
Janice, what did the doctor say?
I told you, Flap. The scariest thing about it is that he wants to do it so fast. Janice. There's a little folder under her arm. I can't say anything until he does. We've discussed it, Flap and I. I mean, really, Flap. Validate my feelings. Your taste.
But that thing that the doctor said about feeling good when it turns out...
No, forget about it. I'm not going to make you feel better. I'm too mad. Dinner!
I was curious. Did you have any reaction at all to my telling you I love you?
I was just inches from a clean getaway.
Well, you're stuck, so face it.
I don't know what else to say except my stock answer.
Which is?
I love you too, kid.
I took him to the airport, and we were standing there in front of the door, hugging and kissing and saying goodbye. And you know what? I got up the nerve to tell him I loved him. You know what his reaction was, Emma?
I don't give a shit, Mom. I'm sick. Not everything has something to do with you. I got a lot to figure out.
I just don't want to fight anymore.
What do you mean? When do we fight?
When do we fight? You amaze me. I always think of us as fighting.
That's just from your end. That's because you're never satisfied with me.
I haven't really talked to the kids yet. I'm not sure how much they realize, but they know something bad is happening.
Flap. Patsy wants to raise Melanie. And maybe the boys. I think they should be with me, don't you?
What can you be thinking about?
Raising 3 children, working full-time, and chasing women requires a lot more energy than you have. You know, one of the nicest qualities about you has always been that you recognized your weaknesses. Don't lose that quality now when you need it the most.
Do you know how much I hate the idea of losing you? Well, no, nobody seems to know that except you. I didn't know.
What?
I'm thinking about my identity and not having one anymore. I mean, who am I if I'm not the man who's failing Emma?
You didn't fail me, Flap.
You know what? No, I don't want to talk about this. I feel like I'm sucking after forgiveness, which I probably am.
You were no more terrible than I was. Look, we had problems. It was never over whether we loved each other. I was so scared. But I think it went really well, don't you?